Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Hello, Bucko fans, and welcome back to The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Stella, in studio today with J-Dash and JK47. Excited to be here, even though I got to talk about baseball. We're going to talk a little Gregory Polanco specifically right now, Dash. He's kind of struggling this year, according to some fans, but is he really struggling, Dash? You got the real numbers. Let's give it to us.
All right, well, his numbers this season, he's hitting .245 with a .307 on base, just 2 home runs. He does have 10 doubles and a triple, though. 13 RBIs, 25 runs, 12 stolen bases, and 15 walks with 39 Ks and 163 at-bats.
So these aren't terrible stats, especially for a player who doesn't even have a full Major League season under his belt.
Yeah, he's just 23 years old. He has 440 career at-bats
so
to this point
right
now.
That's almost a full season, or could be a full season for some players.
Well, for him, I'd expect him to have at least 550 at-bats this season, really. But if you look in April, he was hitting .278 with a .305 on base, 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 13 runs, 7 stolen bases, 3 walks, but 22 Ks and 79 at-bats. So his problem in April was he was K'ing too much. And in fact, he K'd 13 times through the first 6 games of the season. And if you look, just 3 walks compared to those 22 Ks and 79 at-bats. So he was hitting .278, but he was struggling with plate discipline a little bit.
So 47, all this says to me is he's a young guy. He's striking out a little more than you'd like, and he's not walking quite enough because he's not really that patient at the plate yet. He doesn't have a lot of at-bats. So is this something that Polanco can get through this year, or is it something he'll be struggling with all season?
Well, I mean, he's going to have to put in some work. He's going to have to make adjustments. He's going to have to understand what pitchers are trying to do to him. I mean, if you're not seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand and you're swinging prematurely at breaking balls in the dirt, you're going to K a ton, and that's what we've seen a lot of this year. And actually, in all actuality, with the whole Pirate lineup. Good with the fastball, bad with the breaking stuff.
But the point really is, the analysts are saying he's been garbage all season long. And really, if you're hitting .278 after the first month and the second month isn't even over yet, you're not playing like garbage. And in fact, after May 3rd, he was actually hitting .290 with a .327 on base. After May 11th, .271. So it wasn't like he was playing terrible all season long at all.
Well, he just was mirrored in a little batting slump. I mean, I think at one point he was, 1 for 48 at some point or another? I mean, it was bad.
It wasn't 1 for 48.
It was something for 48.
It was 6 for 48 at one point, but he was actually 7 for 54 at one point between May 5th and May 23rd.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just not getting it done. I mean, that's a pretty long slump. 54 at bats. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of games. Has he definitely been garbage this year? No. I mean, actually, he rebounded in the last 7 days to a .316 average, a triple and a home run. He drew a couple of walks. So, I mean, that suggested he might be trying to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, his lowest batting average this year was at .231, and that was on May 23rd. But he is actually 6 for his last 16 and got his average back up to .245. On Thursday, he went 2 for 5 with his second home run of the season, although he did get caught stealing. That was at San Diego. But he has a hit in 3 straight games. He's on pace for 7 home runs. You want to see more than that out of him. You're hoping he can be a 20 to 30 home run type player eventually. But this year, maybe 15 to 20. But 34 doubles would be great at the end of the season. 44 RBIs. I mean, he hit out of the top of the order most of the season. So his RBI totals aren't going to be high out of that spot in the order. But 84 runs and 41 stolen bases. So he's still on pace to put up some decent numbers.
I heard a local radio guy suggest that the Buccos should do a platoon with Polanco and Mercer, and not for the position of right field, but versus righties, you go Polanco right field, Gung at short, Harrison at third. Versus lefties, you go Harrison in left, Gung at third, and Mercer at short. Is that something you think the Pirates will look into, or you think they're just going to let Polanco ride it out with maybe a day or two off here and there?
Oh, he's already a platoon player this season. They haven't faced many lefties this season. And when they do, he sits. He's only gotten 24 at-bats against lefties. Only 4 hits, and he struck out 10 times with 1 walk. So he definitely has a lot of room to grow in his game. He has a lot of problems. He needs to hit lefties better. In fact, he needs to hit righties a little bit better as well. but he's had some defensive woes this season he got to fix. And really, he needs to add some power to his game. So there's a lot of stuff he needs to fix. And right now, he's been a platoon player all season, really. And yeah, it'd be nice to see Jordy Mercer get some more playing time when he can, because he's been hitting the ball a little better as well.
Well, this question goes to both of you. You can take turns answering it. Did we bring Polanco up too soon?
No, I don't think so.
I completely agree. It was time to bring him up. We needed him up here. We needed to make a playoff push. He was one of the best available.
Well, listen, when he came up, he made a splash for us, too. He came up real hot, and he got this team going a little bit. And, yeah, I know he cooled off, but by that time, the whole team was rolling anyways.
Didn't he hit a slump late in last year, too?
Yeah, he did. But as of right now, in May, he's hitting .214 with a .309 average. So overall, he hasn't had a good month of May. Just 1 home run, 6 RBIs. He still scored 12 runs, though. He only scored 13 last month. He still has 5 stolen bases. He had 7 last month. But look, his K rate went down. Just 17 Ks this month in 84 at-bats compared to 22 and 79 last month. And look at his walk rate. 12 walks this month compared to 3 last month. So he's actually improving in some areas, even though he isn't hitting the ball great right now. Although, like I said, he may be coming out of it because he has hitting 3 straight games and just hit a home run the other day.
I completely agree. I mean, increased plate discipline will lead to better pitches, and with everybody else in the Pirate lineup finally picking it up a little bit, I mean, everything points upward for Polanco right now.
Yeah, they just batted him first yesterday. They were batting him 6th in the lineup a few times, 7th in the lineup. So we're going to have to see if he sticks at number 1 or not. I'd have to believe. It seems like it was too fast putting him back in the number 1 hole. I'd like to see him move back down in the lineup 6th or 7th for a little while longer. But to me, the biggest mistakes he made this season is really the Pirates lost 2 games because of early in the season. You remember he dropped that 1 fly ball to lose against Cincinnati, and then he fell in that other game. So really, if he caught those 2 fly balls, they could have 2 more wins right now.
If a dog crapped gold, I'd be a millionaire because I got 3 of them, so I don't live in the world of ifs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He needs to work on his defense, and they'd have 2 more wins. If this was 2 years down the line and he was a better defender than he is right now, they'd be sitting at, 27-21?
Maybe.
Possibly, yes.
Maybe.
If I look at those games, though, I mean, those were times we were just struggling as a team. I mean, hell, we still don't have a win in extra innings yet this season.
Yeah, 0-6.
Yep.
But all in all, the offense is hot. Gregory Polanco, he had a good first month, though, so don't say he was garbage all season. He hasn't hit the ball very well this month, but he worked on his K rate and his walk rate, so he's still getting on base. Look, a 309 on base this month, 305 last month, so he's actually getting on base more in May, even though his average is way lower. But I think if he puts the better plate discipline with the 278 average from April, you're going to see a good player moving forward.
Well, thanks, guys, for coming in studio. Thank you, fans, for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at @bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at BetJimTheWin. Check out the website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Let's go, Buccos.